Say anything about me, darling, as long as it isn't boring. Hollywood's leading ladies are often remembered for their beauty and grace. But some, well, they're also known for getting around, if you know what I mean.
I see a man in your life.
What, only one?
These are the women that are okay with their notorious reputations, and some even encourage the gossip. They enjoyed the attention no matter what the subject was. After all, there's no bad press in Hollywood, right?
I wanna be loved by you alone. Boop-boop-be-doo.
Many of their raunchy actions often had unintended consequences. So let's go learn the inside scoop on Hollywood's leading promiscuous ladies, the cougars and the seductresses. I'm your host, Nostalgic Nick, and if you enjoy this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up for us and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a scandal. Now let's go see the sexiest and most seductive women in Hollywood and find out why one of them stole her best friend's husband. Talk about scandalous. Joan Crawford. Joan Crawford had a string of lovers and was no stranger to the idea of the casting couch, but she refused to wait for an invitation. Rather, Joan invited the casting directors to her own home to show them her work among other things. Wink, wink.
You can't stampede me by gossip or the drunken ravings of Buck Winston. You've got to have evidence.
And Crawford was not shy about using her feminine qualities to help her land better roles in the highly sought-after films.
Known you know where to find the boys and the booze.
She is rumored to have had relationships with Douglas Fairbanks Jr., Clark Gable, and Spencer Tracy, with Gable being the closest Joan ever got to true love. And of course, some other lesser-known men in Hollywood too. Oh, we're not done. Add to the conquest list some of the Western's biggest cowboys. Director Glenn Ford, Yul Brynner, Kirk Douglas, and even the Duke himself, John Wayne. Now those are some prestigious boots to be knocking. One of Joan Crawford's adopted children wrote a book about growing up in her household and said that Joan told the children to call her lover's uncle, which is, I don't know, gross. Joan Crawford fell from Hollywood's grace in a long, slow descent, even sabotaging a few of the younger stars that were on their way up. Joan continued trying to stay relevant and had another string of affairs, but it couldn't save her career, and she wound up living in a small New York apartment and was somehow considered an ex-star.
Well, girls, looks like it's back to the perfume counter for me.
Mae West. A burlesque superstar once called Mae West a sexual gangster. Mae challenged the notion about women and sexuality during her career in Hollywood. She wasn't shy about her agenda and often made wisecracks about her love life.
Well, when I'm good, I'm very good. But when I'm bad, I'm better.
West didn't want women to be shamed for overt sexual desires or escapades, and was once put in jail for writing the play Sex in the late 20s. New York newspapers even refused to publish advertisements for the show. But despite this, it opened on April 26, 1926, and was a great success. But after nearly 400 performances, police finally gave in to the pressures of the Society for the Suppression of Vice, and closed the play and arrested Mae on the charge of corrupting the morals of youth. And the youth didn't care one bit.
Well, it's better to be looked over than overlooked.
By the time the 30s rolled around, West was appearing in movies, and once saw Cary Grant walking down the street and proclaimed that he would be the leading man of her next film. And this was before Cary was a bona fide superstar. By the 60s, West had a thing for bodybuilders, and desired to create a show for women to look at men the way that men often looked at women. So she created a troupe of former bodybuilding champions that began fighting for her attention. Paul Novak was the winner of her affections and became her lifelong partner. Some argue that it was true love, but this didn't stop her from flirting with younger men. Heck, Mae West was in her 80s and still wearing fantastic low-cut dresses and flirting with men in their mid-20s. She told people that age was just a number. Indeed. Talk about a cougar. Jane Mansfield. With a reputation for having a great time in Hollywood, this actress was rumored to be connected with the likes of JFK and Anton LaVey. Of course, no one can confirm the JFK affair, but Mansfield was not shy about her affairs. She once said, quote, "I think sex is healthy and there's too much guilt and hypocrisy about it. Marilyn understood that, and so do I."
It's a 24-hour-a-day job, and I love every minute of each hour, each day.
Mansfield denied publicly knowing the founder of the Church of Satan, Anton LaVey, intimately, but he was completely smitten with her, and supposedly she was not above tormenting him either. She would call him from her home phone and seductively tease him while her friends listened to the conversation. Sounds like a great sleepover. LaVey brought the supposed affair to the public's attention after Mansfield's death in a car accident. LaVey claimed that he put a curse on her lover, Sam Brody, who had been in the car with her at the time. Some other Hollywood actresses were not too impressed with her raunchy attire or attitude. Sophia Loren was famously captured glaring at Mansfield when she wore an extremely low-cut outfit that exposed too much cleavage. Vivian Lee. Vivian won the Academy Award twice during her acting career. How could anyone forget her iconic role as Scarlett O'Hara in 1939's Gone with the Wind, and then once again as Blanche Dubois in A Streetcar Named Desire in 1951. Vivian was known for taking what she wanted when she wanted it. She claims to have seen Sir Laurence Olivier performing in a play and declared that she was going to marry him. She didn't care that he was already married.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
She would later marry him in less than ethical circumstances. Lee went to the same island where Olivier and his wife, actress Jill Esmond, were vacationing, and Lee and Olivier spent some time together, and then Lawrence left his pregnant wife for Vivian Lee. Yikes. Marilyn Monroe. Marilyn is arguably the most iconic woman in Hollywood history. She had several rumored affairs with high-profile men, including John F. Kennedy, Joe DiMaggio, Frank Sinatra, Marlon Brando, and Arthur Miller, just to name a few. She was also the first woman to appear on the cover of Playboy magazine. Monroe and JFK's affair reportedly took place in 1962, and who could forget that sultry rendition of Happy Birthday she sang for JFK's birthday?
Happy birthday, Mr. President.
But she didn't stop with the Kennedys, because there are also rumors that she had another affair with his younger brother, Robert.
I think he just craved a little affection. You know, a sense of being loved and needed and wanted.
There are even rumors that Marilyn Monroe and Joan Crawford had a romantic relationship at one point. Many of Marilyn Monroe's lovers were deeply saddened by her tragic passing, and some continued to send flowers to her grave for many years, and the majority think fondly about their time with her. Elizabeth Taylor. Elizabeth Taylor is one of the most iconic actresses of all time, and Liz Taylor had 7 different husbands, but she claimed to only have one love of her life, Richard Burton, whom she was married to twice. Who could forget that steamy kiss from Cleopatra? Now, on to the messy business of stealing husbands. Taylor's best friend was actress Debbie Reynolds, who was even the matron of honor at Liz Taylor's third wedding to producer Mike Todd. So it was only natural that when Todd died in a plane crash a year later, Taylor's close friend and Debbie Reynolds' husband, Eric Fisher, rushed to comfort the grief-stricken star. But the comforting went too far, and Eric Fisher soon abandoned Debbie Reynolds and their 2 young children to marry Taylor, an event that for some reason ended the 2 actresses' friendship. But all was not lost. And 7 years later, when Reynolds and Taylor discovered that they were on the same cruise together, the 2 decided to have dinner and mend some fences. A reconciliation probably helped by the fact that Taylor dumped Fisher for Richard Burton. And the 2 actresses even starred together in the 2001 movie These Old Broads. Gals before guys, right? Elizabeth Taylor divorced her final husband in 1996 and remained single until her death in 2011, claiming that she had had enough of men. Hollywood's leading ladies sure know how to get what they want, and most tried to charge forward past the gossip and the rumors, or they powerfully used those rumors to their own advantage.
Haven't you ever met a man that can make you happy?
Sure.
Lots of times.
So let's discuss. Which leading lady do you think had the most iconic relationship scandal? And is there another iconic star that should be mentioned on this list? Well, please let us know in the comments below. We want to hear from you. And if you enjoyed learning the inside scoop on these infamous Hollywood ladies, consider clicking that thumbs up for us. And subscribe to our channel so you never miss a throwback. From all of us here at Do You Remember, thanks very much for watching.